most productivity systems say that as the days get longer, we should be doing more output, more hustle, and more everything, basically, which I think leads to burnout. This spring, I've been experimenting with something completely opposite, which is also inspired by Ramadan rhythm. But if better work actually comes from doing less, from anchoring your discipline in the morning barakah, and then softening it into a restful, soulful afternoon. Our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam also used to wake up early in the morning and he would take a nap in the afternoon. I realized that there is wisdom in that rhythm. Ever since I opted for this productivity system, my work has never felt clearer and my heart has never felt lighter. Today, I am going to walk you through the exact system I've been using, a soft spring productivity rhythm that has helped me stay creative, calm, and spiritually grounded. The days have started getting beautiful in spring. The light gets warmer, the days stretch out, and suddenly there is this pressure to be more productive. But I realized something along the side as I am optimizing my life towards the output. I also want to optimize it for presence, which has led me to build a system that blends creative discipline with spiritual clarity. Okay, so let's start with the mornings because this is where everything shifts. I call this the Barakah First framework, and it has three parts. Number one, it is align the heart. Number two, it is set the intention. The last one is the meaningful work. First, it is align the heart. So for me, this starts with Fajr, and even before Fajr, if I have woken up for Tahajjud, this is the part of Ramadan I refuse to let go of because the peace, the clarity, the barakah at this hour is soulful. This is the moment where my mind is quietest and my heart is clearest. So this time is like the spiritual equivalent of clearing your RAM before starting the day, asking Allah to put barakah in your life and affairs. Then there is set the intention. I start this window from breakfast, which is my favorite meal of the day, and lately I have been trying to make it as fun and creative as possible. I try different creative but fun and easy recipe which makes me feel fulfilled. One of such recipes is labne balls, and I've been little obsessed with it because not only they are simple but they make me feel like I'm adding a tiny bit of artistry to my morning. The recipe is pretty simple but takes some time because the first step is to drain yogurt overnight. Once it turns into a creamy consistency, you can make balls out of it and simply roll it in spices the next day and store it in olive oil. That's it. Such a small thing, but somehow it makes my morning feel amazing, like I'm starting the day with a little spark. The reason I make breakfast fun and tasty is because it is the first meal of the day and it sets the tone, it sets the intention. When you nourish yourself early, your brain releases all these happy chemicals that give you the strength to take on the day with the softer, more positive energy. After breakfast, I journal. Nothing aesthetic or complicated, just a quick to do list and important events of the day. But this tiny habit has saved me from forgetting so much. It has also helped me get things done that I used to take lightly or procrastinate on for weeks. It's like giving my mind a clean slate before the day begins. And then I go for a morning walk, sometimes with tea, sometimes with a book, sometimes just me and my steps. It is one of those rituals that gently resets my mood and helps me set the tone for the rest of the day. Now let's come to the third step, which is do the meaningful work. After I have set the intention and tone of my day, starting from Fajr, I move into my deep work window. This is the part of the morning where I focus on one task at a time, no multitasking, no trying to be everywhere at once. And honestly, the science backs this up. Research from Stanford University found that only 2.5% of people can actually multitask effectively. And for the rest of us, what we call multitasking is really just task switching, and it comes with a heavy cognitive cost. One study showed that switching between tasks can make you take up to 40% longer to finish something and increases the number of mistakes you make. Another study published in the Journal of Experimental Psychology found that people who multitask made significantly more errors and took much longer to complete tasks compared to those who focused on one task at a time. Keeping that in mind, I choose single tasking, one focused task, one clear intention, and it has been incredibly productive for me, not just in terms of output, but also in terms of reducing burnout. So when my mind is not constantly switching lanes, everything feels calmer, cleaner, and more doable. Then there is the spiritual side of it as well. When I work from Barakah, that early morning blessing, the work itself feels lighter, clearer, more aligned. My energy is naturally highest in the morning. I try to use it well, gently, intentionally, without rushing myself. I end my morning with a shutdown ritual, a tiny moment that signals to my brain that work mode is done. For me, it is simple: a small dua, a stretch, a few gentle exercises, and a quick tidy of my desk. Sometimes it even turns into a lighthouse reset. Nothing intense, just peaceful, grounding movements that help me transition out of doing energy of the morning. There is actually a research behind why this works. Psychologists call it psychological detachment, and it is one of the strongest predictors of next day energy and performance. Studies show that when we don't mentally close our work loops, the brain keeps them active in the background, a phenomenon known as a Zeigarnik effect. This is why unfinished tasks keep replaying in your mind even hours later. So what is Zeigarnik effect actually? This is a psychological phenomenon discovered by Bluma Zeigarnik. Notice that our brains hold on to unfinished tasks much more tightly than completed ones. It's why an unchecked to-do list keeps replaying in your mind, why you think about emails you haven't replied to, and why your brain refuses to fully relax when something is left open. But research by Baumeister and Messicampo found that simply making a plan for unfinished tasks gives the brain the same relief as completing them, allowing you to fully disconnect. And according to productivity researchers, a shutdown ritual, even just 5 to 15 minutes, helps prevent rumination, reduces stress, and creates a clear boundary between work and personal time. How it supports your shutdown ritual. In simple terms, the brain doesn't like open loops. So when you create a shutdown ritual, you are giving your mind a sense of closure. Research shows that when we acknowledge unfinished tasks and make a small plan for them, the brain releases the tension it was holding, stops reminding you, stops replaying, it lets you rest. So when I end my morning with this little ritual, it's not just aesthetic, it's cognitive hygiene. It is me telling my mind, you have done enough and you can rest now, because rest is as important as working hard. Which brings me to the second part of the system, which I call it soft afternoon system. This is the part of the day most of us try to power through, but I have learned that afternoons are actually made for softness, when it also has three parts. Number one, it is nourish. Number two, it is restore. And number three is play. Nourishing part is self-explanatory. This is the lunchtime in which I keep lunch simple and slow. This is my energy reset, so I try my best to have a nourishing meal eaten without rushing, without any screen, most importantly. It is honestly underrated but much needed. My lunch can be simple lentil soup, sometimes a bowl of mixed fruits, or sometimes fried chicken. But since it is springtime now, so I am trying my best to keep my lunch full of salad or mixed fruits. Then there is a window for restore. By the time I'm finished with the lunch, it is already the Zuhr time. I pray and do zikr as much as possible. It is like a spiritual palate cleanser, and I continue a habit I picked up in Ramadan, which is saying istighfar. Istighfar has such a profound impact in my life. Istighfar has become my anchor. It slows down my thoughts, softens my anxiety, and restores my energy. Whether I'm washing dishes or walking around the house, honestly, istighfar has become such a habit now that I don't even think about it. I'll be doing dishes or walking from one room to another and suddenly realize that I have been saying it the whole time. It's just part of me now. Finally, play. It is the part we forget, even though it is just as important as the work hard. For me, play doesn't always look loud or dramatic. Sometimes it's simply choosing something that brings me joy without asking for too much of me. It can be a hobby, a tiny burst of creativity, or even just opening the Quran and letting a few words settle into my heart. In my system, I have also included self-care routine. Evenings are where self-care becomes non-negotiable for me, because I believe productivity is not just about what you do, it is also about how you treat yourself. Let me walk you through my soft spring facial routine, which is very simple, but it has become a ritual I genuinely look forward to. I start with a gentle cleanser. It helps me to wash away any sunscreen, dust, and the day's buildup. I make homemade masks. It's like I'm choosing myself in the smallest and sweetest way. Step includes serum and gua sha. After I'm done with all of these steps, I just apply a simple moisturizer. That is it. It's simple routine, almost too simple, but the impact it has on my mental state is profound. It tells me that I matter. Honestly, I used to think skincare was optional, but the more I grow, the more I realize self care is not vanity, it is stewardship. It is honoring the body Allah entrusted you with. This routine is not about perfection, it is about slowing down enough to meet yourself, because I deserve gentleness and care. And honestly, when I take care of myself, my creativity feels clearer, my worship feels deeper, my days feel softer. Here's the takeaway: productivity doesn't have to be loud, it doesn't have to look like hustle or constant motion. It can be soft, spiritual, or deeply human. When we honor the barakah of the morning, allow ourselves to rest in the afternoon, and when we treat our bodies with the same care we give our goals, something shifts. Our work becomes clearer, our heart feels lighter, and our days start to feel like worship, not pressure. So, whether you're a housewife, a student, or working any job, I want to invite you to create a few gentle action points for yourself. Small things that help you reach your highest level of productivity without burning yourself out. Habits that feel like kindness, not punishment. If you have liked this video, I think you'll enjoy the one where I talk about cleanliness isn't just physical, it is a state of mind, a way of clearing space inside yourself. That is it for today. As always, thank you so much for spending this time with me. I hope your spring is gentle, intentional, and full of barakah. Ameen.